Well, we talk so much on this show about the importance of remembering your dreams and taking the time to understand them. But recently, I came across a woman who takes dream work one step further. Carol Oschmann has been working with her dreams for decades, leading dream groups, lecturing, and writing, including the award winning book Prison Dreams. But Carol just doesn't work on her dreams, she has dreams for other people. How does she do it? Let's find out. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm really curious to find out about this. I mean, Carol, I've heard of people sharing dreams and having tandem dreams. I have to admit, you're the first person I've met who dreams for others. So, what exactly does that mean?
Well, the very first one, my dreams were changing my life, and I was sharing it with a girlfriend, and she said, dream for me. And I said, you're crazy. It doesn't work that way. And I forgot about it the whole day. That night, Spirit didn't forget. Her question was, would she retire? Kodak was giving buyout packages to people, and she wanted one. And that night, I first heard a roar of roller skates on a wooden floor, and she whipped around the corner carrying a great big sign that said retired and a great big grin on her face. After that, her husband wanted a dream, and then I don't know how people get to me always. Sometimes family and friends bring them. Sometimes I give a speech and they come. But you ask a question, I take it to God, and you'll know the answer. I necessarily won't know the answer when I hear it, but you will know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so tell me how your process works. I mean, how do you prepare yourself to have these dreams?
I like to have the essence of somebody, but I found I can do it even with an email. Originally, they'd write their name on a piece of paper. I'd take that and hold it before I went to sleep at night, and I'd pray over it. God, please answer this question. And I'd put it under my pillow, and I'd go to sleep. And the dreams that night would be for that person. There's no explanation I can give you. It just happens. But I think my mission is to convince people God is talking to us in our dreams, that there is another side of the veil. Life goes on.
Okay, so you have this dream and you then present it to the person. Do you go through with the person and then do your own explanation of what you think the dream means, or how do you convey this dream to the person after you have it?
I don't usually have to convey it. They know exactly. I might tell you the story about this hairdresser I went to. He was a young man, and it was a whole family working in the store. And his father had died about 6 months before, and there was a conversation he wished he had with Dad, and he never had it. Well, I took it to my dreams. I didn't exactly know what the conversation was. I took it to my dreams. I prayed over it, and I said, give Joey the answer. I had 4 or 5 dreams for him that night, but the most significant ones were in a firehouse, and I was to sleep in a fire engine. And it was against the law, and they were building this Trojan cow that I could sleep inside it. And I asked Joey the next day, does that make any sense to you? And he says, absolutely. He said, I'm gay. I'm 23, and this is my passion. My passion is out of control. It's on fire. He says, that's the only way I can explain it. Well, so then Dad must have told us, so Dad knew. So then the next dream, we're in a supermarket, and I'm very angry at the clerk. And they have a ditty that they play on the television, their ads, and the bunch of us are making fun of that ditty. So I said to him, why would we be making fun of that supermarket? He said that on Dad's deathbed, he made them promise not to sell their land, which was adjacent to this warehouse of this supermarket. And he made us promise not to sell our land to them. He was so upset with them. So in essence, Dad was telling him there's something more important in life than being gay. Protect the property.
Mhm. Very interesting. Do you ever have a situation where you have a dream and you tell it to the person you had the dream for, and they don't know what it means?
Uh, yes, a few times. That's the rare occurrence. They usually know because it's their life that I'm tapping into, not mine. But then I'll start interpreting the way I would interpret my own dreams, and I give them two or three, as many different ideas as I can on the interpretations, and they will know when the right dream, when the right interpretation is given them. You know, you get that aha feeling in your heart.
Can anyone do this? Can you teach people how to do this?
Not to the level, I haven't been able to teach anyone to the level that I do it, but in my dream group, we have several times someone has had a big life changing question, and only God can answer. They don't want the opinions of the people in the, and they would ask us to dream for them. So then if there's 5 people in the group, they'd write their name 5 times and hand out these pieces of paper. We take them home, we put them in our hands as I've instructed them, put them under the pillow after praying over them. And then the next week, they'd bring back their dreams that they had. And it's quite interesting in that it seems like each person would get one tiny bit of that subject's life, where
Hmm.
I get quite a bit. They would get just one little bit. And one lady couldn't get out of her grief, and we did that for her. And one lady saw uh, twin girls, real curly hair, and it turns out that our subject had granddaughters who were twins with curly hair. And each one of us had one little thing that was in her life, but the twin granddaughters was the way for her to break her grief.
In most of the dreams, do departed loved ones come back into these dreams? I mean, is that the main focus of what happens in the dreams?
Well, tell me something about their life. Like with Joy, it was the firehouse that I had no way of knowing. It was the supermarket fiasco, which I had no way of knowing. It was the fact that he was a twin that I had no way of knowing. But these things come in a dream, and you have to stop and think, who's telling me this? He wanted to hear from his dad, so he went away believing Dad knew what was going on and it was okay with him.
And Carol, I have another question for you about just the process. So when people ask you to dream for them, so they write down something on a piece of paper that you take and you put it under your pillow and you dream about it. How detailed is what they write? Is it just one sentence or do they write a whole paragraph? How does that work?
It's usually just one sentence. The less I know, the better, because then it doesn't shade my dreams. Not that it will, because it just seems like some heavenly spirit takes over the night, um, and because there's nothing in me that's in the dreams. You know, usually your dreams are either experiences in your life or experience in somebody else's life, but these are totally different.
And do you always have a dream the night that the person gives you this request?
Yes. I a long time ago, I fought with demons, and I learned all I had to do was ask God to take them away and they'd be gone. So I asked God a long time ago, don't give me anything that's going to be scary. Don't let anybody come to me who's evil.
And You have so much detail in these dreams that you have about these people. How do you remember all of that?
Writing sometimes. One lady I met at Parents Without Partners, she had lost her husband a year ago, no children, and she was devastated. She was on suicide hotline the night I called her. She she just wanted a feeling that he was around, or that where she should go from here. So it was all one sentences things. And I have the dream yet in my book. One sentence, I'd get up and write it. Another sentence would come to me, I'd get up and write it. I'd swear I wasn't sleeping, but these sentences that were not from my mind came in. Well, as it ended up, she sent me a copy of the dreams back, and she underlined 18 things that were in her life, either with her husband or since her husband, that I had no way of knowing. And she just felt so good that he was watching over her, and he still is watching over her.
Carol, how can people find out more about you and your work?
I do have a page on Facebook. It's called Dream Interpretation and Much, Much More. Otherwise, I also have a page under my own name.
We've been speaking with dream expert Carol Oschmann.